Nvidia stock down, is it time to buy? So looking at Nvidia on the daily chart today, Nvidia was down 6.38%, right? The lowest was 116.71, and as you can see, right, uh, Nvidia broke the 50-day moving average, but you can see that as soon as Nvidia reached the 20-day moving average, it somewhat slightly bounced off the 20-day moving average. And so I feel like if Nvidia can maintain itself on the 20-day moving average, or if it can rebound from the 20-day moving average, then we could possibly see a little bit more continuation of Nvidia towards the uptrend. Now, if Nvidia does decide to break the 20-day moving average, the next support level that I'm looking out for is around this little small area, around the 102 area, 101 area. And of course, it's never sure what can happen to a stock, right? And so obviously, investors usually tend to make the mistake of buying somewhat a little high, right? And so a way that you could help out, bringing your position, I guess making your position a little better is by dollar cost averaging. And basically it's an approach to purchasing an investment in which the buyer spreads out their purchases so that the total price paid is less affected by market timing. So let's say we bought around the 20-day moving average, and let's say it decides to crash to the next support level around the 101 area or the 102 area, right? We could wait until Nvidia goes down to that level of support, right? And we could, buy a couple more shares of Nvidia. That way our average at the 20-day moving average wouldn't be stuck at that average price point. It would go down slightly lower once we buy at the next support level around the 101 or 102 area. And they actually reported earnings yesterday, and so they actually beat expectations. They beat their earnings per share, they beat their revenue. And so I really don't know what's the big deal with them being so down today, right? But nonetheless, right, I feel like if Nvidia can bounce off the 20-day moving average, then I feel like we could see a little bit of continuation of Nvidia towards the uptrend. And so how did the overall market do, right? So looking at that SPY, right? SPY, it looks like it was having trouble with the 9-day moving average on the daily chart. It looks like it's stuck in the middle, and now right now it looks like it's stuck under the 9-day moving average. So what does that mean to me? That possibly means that maybe SPY could see a little bit of downtrend, possibly, right? And overall it was doing good ever since August 12th, right? August 12th, SPY crossed over the 9-day moving average, and ever since then it's just been in a uptrend ever since until today, right? SPY has had a little trouble today going over the 9-day moving average. And so I feel like unless SPY doesn't go past the 9-day moving average, I feel like we can't see continuations towards the uptrend of SPY unless SPY breaks the 9-day moving average. And looking on the 30-minute time chart, usually what I like to do is look at stocks on the 30-minute time chart, right? Everyone has a personal preference, right? But I've tried most of these minute, or I guess time intervals, right? I've tried the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 5 minutes, and etc., right? And I feel like out of all of these, right, I feel like the 30-minute time chart is probably the best time chart, or I guess it's probably the best time interval to trade on. And so looking at SPY, right, you can see that ever since the 10-hour candle, right, it's maintained itself above the 9-day moving average, right? And you can see that until the 1430 candle, right, it broke the 9 and the 20-day moving average. And then ever since then, it was just another downtrend ever since the 1430 candle. And then you can see these two candles right here, the 1530 candle and the 16-hour candle, right, had trouble breaking the 50-day moving average. And what does that tell me? I feel like if that's the case, maybe SPY could see a little bit of continuations towards the downtrend slightly tomorrow, but no one really knows for sure. No one really knows. This is just like technical analysis that I usually do on stocks, right? And it's not meant to predict like you're right or you're wrong. It could go either way, right? And so and then looking at Nvidia, I wanted to talk about Nvidia, right? On the 30-minute time chart, right? Ever since the 10-hour candle, right? It tried breaking the 50-day moving average and it got rejected by the 50-day moving average. And another thing that I took into consideration was that if you see, if you see Nvidia, how it's at right now, I saw like a glimpse of like Nvidia possibly being down the whole day somewhat, right? And the conclusion that I came to that was because I saw that Nvidia was under the 180 and 200-day moving average. And usually when I spot like stocks that are under the 180 or 200-day moving average, usually that means that stock is going to be down most of the day. And usually if the next day that stock doesn't break the 180 or 200-day moving average, that possibly means that that stock could possibly see a little bit more continuations towards down the downtrend, right? And so basically I was somewhat right. Basically Nvidia was under the 180 and 200-day moving average. The 10-hour candle, right, tried breaking the 50-day moving average. It failed. And then you can see on this candle, the 13-hour candle, it tried breaking the 9-day moving average. It got rejected. And then you can see this candle right here, the 14-hour candle. I mean the 14 candle, right? Basically tried breaking the 9-day moving average. It failed. And then you can see this candle right here, the 1430 candle, tried breaking the 9-day moving average and it failed. And ever since then, the 1430 candle, Nvidia was just in a continuation towards the downtrend. And so do I think Nvidia is a buy? I feel like if Nvidia can bounce off the 20-day moving average, then me personally, I would definitely get into Nvidia, right? I feel like if Nvidia does break the 20-day moving average, right, then the next level of support that I'm looking out for, right, me personally, I'm looking out for the 102 or 101 area as my next entry point to get into Nvidia. But other than that, that's pretty much it. We'll see what happens with the market, right, and with Nvidia. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, do your own research. This is not financial advice. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, take care and bye.